After kissing my good brother, the system issued a mission. Next mission. French kiss for 30 seconds. It's valid for 1 week. Please complete it as soon as possible. Host. I exchanged a glance with Oliver. Then we both silently averted our eyes. After a long while, Oliver said in a gloomy tone, "Your sister is really twisted." Who was drinking water, choked. Oliver was right. If it weren't for that brat Emma, they wouldn't have been dragged into this godforsaken world to suffer. When I get out, I'll definitely burn all her dirty books, but I just couldn't figure it out. Why the hell am I the submissive one? That Emma girl must have some serious taste issues. I'm the captain of the basketball team, tough and burly. In terms of strength and looks, I should be the dominant one. Thinking this, I turned my head to look at Oliver. His skin was so white and tender that it seemed like water could be squeezed out. His eyelashes were long, and he had a pair of alluring eyes, the kind that made him look like an easy target for bullies. "What are you staring at me for?" "Want to kiss," Oliver said calmly. "Kiss?" Hearing this, my eyes involuntarily landed on his slightly blushing lips. His lips had a nice shape, and we had just kissed. They were so soft. Seeing Oliver slowly approaching, I couldn't control myself. I slapped him across the face, blushed, and shouted, "What are you doing? I'm straight. How can I complete the task without kissing?" Oliver rubbed his swollen red face and said aggrievedly, "I forgot about the mission. Making out for 30 seconds is kind of tough for me. Let me think about it some more," I said with a serious look on my face. "No rush. Take your time. We've still got a week anyway." Oliver popped open a can of iced cola with one hand, took a sip, and said casually, his eyes fixed on the distance. Hearing his calm tone, I slightly furrowed my brows and asked, "Oliver, why do you look so indifferent? Don't you want to return to the real world?" "I don't care. It's all the same whether I go back or not." Oliver shrugged and said, "Come to think of it, he's probably right. Whether in the real world or now, Oliver is a wealthy heir. But I'm different. My dad who's addicted to gambling, my mom who ran away from home, and me, a broken mess. It's as miserable as it can be." That little rascal Emma, she's really something. She's my little sister, all right, but this fictional world is pretty much the same as the real world. Oliver and I still have the same names, and even our college majors haven't changed. Hell, even our dorm beds are in the same spots as in reality. The only difference is, in the novel, we couldn't stand the sight of each other and were sworn enemies who would start a fight the moment we met. Before, I read a novel written by my sister. First, we couldn't stand each other, but in the end, we'd develop feelings for each other and then, all that stuff. I was so embarrassed that my face turned red. I directly tore up what she wrote into pieces and even deducted her allowance. She said I'd get what was coming to me back then. As expected, I got what was coming to me. It was the weekend. I played ball with Oliver. Seeing he was all sweaty, I took him back to my place to take a shower. I had an itchy back at the time, so I asked him to scrub it for me. Who would have thought that after Oliver scrubbed my back a few times, we somehow ended up in this novel world. We still have to complete the mission. You need to reach 100 points to return to the real world. On the first day, the system made us have a fight in the square according to the original plot. Oliver is my good buddy. How could I bear to hit him? Mission completed. Reward: 50 points. Hearing the system's beep, I didn't hesitate to throw a punch at Oliver's handsome face. Oliver's half of the face instantly swelled up. He stared at me in complete disbelief, with a hint of grievance welling up in his eyes. There were a lot of people around, and the heckling sounds rose and fell. Seeing that he didn't fight back for a long time, I quickly stepped forward, grabbed his collar, and whispered, "Come on, hit me. We need to fight each other to get points. Otherwise, that punch you just took was for nothing." Oliver's dark eyes dimmed slightly, and he murmured, "I can't bear to." I was taken aback. Sure enough, he's my good buddy. I'm almost moved to tears. Finally, under my coercion and bribery, he gave me a light hit. He got injured, but in the end, it was still me who applied medicine to his wounds. When he was in a bad mood, I even had to buy a lollipop to cheer him up. The next day, the system told us to have a shouting match. The louder the commotion, the higher the points. This is easy. That day, when class was over, I grabbed my book and slammed it right in front of Oliver. So worked up that my eyes were red, I pointed at him and snapped, "Oliver, if you've got the guts, let's have a fight. What's with all these dirty tricks? You even had someone take away the funds of our basketball club. As soon as these words came out, the classroom fell silent instantly, and even the students passing by came in to watch the show. Oliver actually played dirty? I bet it's Henry who framed Oliver, right? That poor kid Henry can do anything. He even hit Oliver out of the blue yesterday. Oliver really had the worst luck to run into such a difficult person. Don't worry, the Lou family isn't someone Henry can mess with. Oliver can squash him as easily as squashing an ant. Wait and see. Oliver's definitely gonna teach Henry a lesson. Listening to the whispers around me, I was quite satisfied, for everything was unfolding according to the novel's plot. But who would have known that the next second, Oliver walked up to me, reached out to wipe away my tears, then lowered his head and stared at me, his eyes full of concern as he said, "Don't cry, it's just a bit of funding. I'll cover it for you, however much you need." Everyone present was taken aback. I was stunned too. What the hell is Oliver doing? What's with this whole deep brotherly love act now? I desperately tried to signal to him with my eyes, telling him to curse at me, but he seemed not to notice at all. Instead, he took out a wad of cash from his wallet and stuffed it into my hand. "Should this be enough?" he asked, his eyes pure and innocent. I got furious and directly threw the banknotes in his face. "What are you pretending for? It's clearly your fault, and now you're acting all innocent? I'm telling you, no way. You sly guy." I was furious and pointed at him, shouting. Hearing this, Oliver's eyes slightly narrowed and he looked rather solemn. I thought he couldn't hold back and was gonna snap back, but to my surprise, he had a complicated look on his face and said, "How do you know?" I thought I'd hidden it well. His aggression was too weak, so in the end, the system only gave us 10 points. By the third day, the system issued another task, telling us to kiss. I can't do this at all. I've never even kissed a woman, let alone a man. I firmly said no, but if we don't complete this task, the system won't release the next one. I struggled for a whole day. By nightfall, I gave in. While the other two roommates were asleep, I hunched over and climbed onto Oliver's bed carefully. With my hands propping up the bed, I struggled to crawl to Oliver's side. But just as I was about to shake him awake, he suddenly hugged me tightly, burying his head in my neck. Oliver's body was really hot, and he had a refreshing woody scent. The closer I got, the stronger the fragrance became. A wave of dizziness hit me and I was at a loss. After a moment or two, I gently slapped him to wake him up. "Henry? What's going on?" His voice was incredibly lazy and hoarse, as if he had just woken up. I covered his mouth, motioning for him to keep quiet so as not to wake the other two roommates. I typed a message on my phone. "Let's start the third mission." I thought it through. It's just a kiss, you know, just like getting bitten by a dog. Oliver's hand was still on my waist. By the faint light of his phone, he squinted his almond-shaped eyes at me and whispered, "Can you do it?" I nodded. "Come on, we're good buddies. A little kiss on the lips isn't a big deal." The next second, Oliver raised his hand, grabbed the back of my head, and pushed it down. My lips instantly pressed against his. The soft, warm touch on my lips made my mind go blank in an instant. I jerked up suddenly. The movement was too big and the bed shook violently. "I haven't even said start yet," I snapped, wiping my mouth furiously. As soon as these words were spoken, the two roommates across from us woke up in an instant. "You two are still fighting this late at night? You're brothers. What grudges could you possibly have that can't be resolved? Go to bed early. We've got an 8 a.m. class tomorrow." "Sorry, we're gonna sleep right away," I said hurriedly. With that, I went back to my own bed, but I couldn't fall asleep the whole night. In Oliver's eyes, a kiss might just be part of the mission, but for me, it was my first kiss. I was gonna pull him into the bathroom and just give him a peck on the lips, but who knew he'd be so quick? He pressed me down and kissed me, our teeth even clashing. This mission is completed. 20 points are added. The total points are 80. Come on, host. Hearing this, I felt a lot better. Only 20 points to go until we reach 100. Finishing the last task surely means we can go home. For the next week, we just kept going to classes in an orderly manner. However, the way we two enemies were getting along seemed off. during PE class, I accidentally took a tumble while exercising and scraped the skin on my arm. Oliver, who was about 10 meters away from me, immediately rushed over. The usually delicate-looking man effortlessly picked me up and rushed straight to the infirmary. I was stunned. The others were stunned too. "Aren't they at odds with each other?" someone muttered. I heard that. I immediately got off Oliver and stumbled back to the dormitory. And it was the same afterwards. I was thirsty, and Oliver gave me water. I was hungry, and he bought me food. When I got hot, he fanned me. That night, we were the only two left in the dorm. He came running over to my bed all excited. Seeing that I was playing games, he took out his phone and joined me, but as we were fighting, I ended up leaning right into his arms. This position is really comfortable. I never get distracted when I'm gaming, but I kept feeling this warm, damp sensation on the back of my neck. I turned my head and saw Oliver right up close, sniffing at the back of my neck. "What the hell are you doing, dude?" I'd always thought Oliver was straight. Without any suspicion, I just rubbed the back of my neck and asked casually, "Henry, you seem to smell nice," he said, with a slight curve on his lips, smiling. Hearing this, I frowned slightly. "Dude, what's with all this gay-like behavior lately? I'm a straight guy. What's so fragrant about me? It's just the smell of my body wash. Don't you know if I'm gay or not? I just like the smell of your body wash. Let me use it tomorrow," Oliver said with a calm expression and a smile. "Yeah, but between you and me, what's mine is yours. Use whatever you want," I said generously. Right after he said that, our roommates came back. Seeing this, Oliver immediately got off my bed. Looking at our shocked roommate, he said calmly, "We didn't do anything." "Oh no," saying that only makes the misunderstanding worse. "You guys, are you together?" one of the roommates asked hesitantly. As soon as those words were out, the system immediately deducted 20 points from us. I haven't sorted things out here yet, and now I've got myself into a huge mess again. At 8 in the morning, I went out of the school gate to buy steamed buns. By the way, I also bought some pastries that Oliver liked. I didn't really care what to eat, but Oliver was picky. He didn't like the food in the school, but was really into the pastries from the store right outside the school gate. But I had just come out of the pastry shop. I'd only taken one bite of my bun when I got grabbed and thrown into a van. I didn't even need to think to know it must be my gambling-addicted dad who caused this mess. They tied me up and took me to an abandoned factory. According to the original novel, they were gonna beat me up, then take my phone and make Oliver come and pay up. But I'm not stupid. I just handed over my phone right away. "Guys, my friend is rich. I'll call him to come and pay you back." I made a phone call, and Oliver came running. When he saw me tied to a chair, his eyes instantly turned cold. "Where's the money? Hand it over right now," one of them said. Oliver didn't say a word. With a cold face, he punched the guy down. When the others saw this, they rushed at him, but he knocked them all down. After Oliver finished, he directly threw a bank card at the leading man, stepped on his head, and said coldly, "This is the money his dad owed. If you dare to give him any more trouble, I'll blow your brains out." "Dude, what the hell? Who are you? Is this really my gentle, bookish good buddy?" The scene was so shocking that I still hadn't snapped out of it even when Oliver brought me to his place. "Have a drink." As soon as he entered the door, Oliver took out the red wine and poured me a glass. I thought I really needed to calm my nerves, so I took it and drank it all in one gulp. I can't hold my liquor well, and that one sip immediately turned my face bright red. Anyway, the red wine tasted good. After finishing one glass, I wanted another, but when I looked up, I met Oliver's burning gaze. His pitch black eyes were like the water in an ancient pond, cold and deep. "What? Beating them wasn't enough. You want to take a swing at me now? Ha!" I curled my lips and said with a chuckle. Right after I said that, Oliver leaned in and kissed me. He kissed so fast and urgently that I could barely breathe. And with the effect of the alcohol, my head was a bit dizzy. "You didn't even tell me we were doing this mission." After kissing for 2 minutes, I really couldn't catch my breath, so I quickly kicked him away. "Are you out of your mind? 30 seconds of kissing was enough. You've even swollen my lips," I said, blushing as I touched my lips. "I must be out of my mind. I like you." Mission 4 completed. 40 points added to the score. Points have reached 100, and the mission is completed. Teleportation initiated. Host, please choose to agree or refuse. I didn't hesitate and said yes. A flash of white light passed by. I suddenly opened my eyes and found myself sitting on the sofa, while my parents and Emma were chatting beside me. The moment I saw Emma, I got all worked up. I grabbed her ear and snapped, "You little rascal. Do you have any idea how much trouble you've caused Oliver and me?" Emma exclaimed in a panic. "What the hell are you doing, bro? And who is Oliver anyway? Oliver? You don't recognize him? You wrote him and me into your book, and you don't know who he is," I said, frowning. "He just came to help me scrub my back not long ago. Even my parents know him. You don't recognize him?" My mom looked puzzled and said, "Henry, who's Oliver? We don't know him." Hearing this, I was stunned for a moment. Then I quickly rushed into the bedroom to look for the photo of Oliver and me. But Oliver had disappeared from the photo. After that, I frantically rummaged through Oliver's stuff, but there was nothing. I even went to his place, and they all said there was no such person as Oliver. I was stunned. Oliver didn't come back? Oliver is the eldest son of the Liu family. He also has a half-brother. Although his status is glamorous, he doesn't lead a happy life. I had been to his place once before. I could tell his family didn't like him. His stepmother disliked him and pushed him aside at every turn. And his dad turned a blind eye to him. As long as he did something even slightly wrong, his dad would beat him with a stick. As for his own mother, she just wanted to get money from him. When his mom found out that his dad was going to give the company to his younger brother, she even went to his school and insulted him in front of the whole class, calling him a good-for-nothing. In the real world, he didn't have an easy time, but in the fictional world, things were different. At least he had a happy family, more money than he could spend, and a great deal of power. If I were in his shoes, I'd definitely refuse to come back too. I was lying in bed, the curtains drawn, and the room pitch black. I stared blankly at the ceiling, an indescribable sadness welling up inside me. Oliver's words, "I like you," kept echoing in my mind. If you like me, why didn't you want to come back with me? I felt a wave of annoyance and couldn't help cursing him in my heart. But after the annoyance passed, I missed him like crazy. I wanted to go to school with him, attend classes together, and play ball together. Without Oliver, I'm just going through the motions. Emma also noticed something was off and asked curiously, "Bro, who's this Oliver you keep talking about all day? He's your brother's good friend, but now he's stuck in the book you wrote and can't get out." I leaned on the sofa, saying with a melancholic look, "My book? What the heck is it about?" Emma exclaimed, looking excited. My face flushed as I thought about the book's content. I gritted my teeth and said, "You should read less of that smut. The exam is coming up, and you don't seem worried at all? All you do all day is read about two guys falling in love. It's rotting your brain." Emma's face fell at the words. "Brother, did you come into my room?" she shouted, then rushed back to her room and checked her bookshelf. Seeing that her books hadn't been destroyed, she let out a sigh of relief. Moments later, he returned to the living room, his face serious. "Bro, I always come first in exams. Watching this doesn't interfere with my studies at all. You can't tell mom and dad." I glanced at her and said casually, "You'd better stay on top. Otherwise, I can't guarantee what I'll say." With that, I turned around and headed back to my room. I wanted to play games, but as I played, I suddenly felt it was boring. Without Oliver, everything just feels meaningless. I kind of realized I have feelings for Oliver. A few days later, as I passed by Emma's room, I peeked inside and saw her writing with a lewd smile on her face. I furrowed my brows slightly. A nice girl like her, always acting so sneaky. With the thought of giving her a piece of my mind, I walked in, but when I saw what she was writing, I furrowed my brows and read it out loud directly. Oliver pinned the drunk Henry onto the couch and kissed him wildly. "Emma, what on earth are you writing?" My face flushed, and I snatched her notebook. To my surprise, the whole notebook was filled with such stuff. I flipped through it and found that the plot was exactly the same as the one I tore up before. But right now, Emma doesn't even know Oliver. How could she know all these details? "How on earth did you come up with this plot?" I asked, puzzled. Emma thought I was going to praise her. She grinned, pointed at her head, and said, "Use my brain that's read tons of books." This is a piece of cake. Rip. I tore her book to pieces. Emma was stunned and cried out, "Brother, you'll get what's coming to you. This is my hard work." I laughed at her reaction. It's a match. This overlaps with last time. Does that mean I can go back to the novel world too? Emma was taken aback when she heard me laugh, then said with a worried look on her face, "Brother, I don't want the book anymore, but don't go crazy either. It's okay. I'm actually happy about this." I patted her on the shoulder, smiled, and complimented her. "You did a good job. I'm gonna head back to my room now, sis." After returning to my room, I lay in bed the whole time, waiting to be transported into the novel world. But there was still no sign of anything even after dinner, and I couldn't hide the disappointment in my eyes. Seems like it failed. But when I was taking a shower, a flash of white light passed by, and I was pulled back into the novel world. When I saw my roommate come back, I immediately rushed forward and asked, "Where's Oliver? Oliver? I just saw him head to the ginkgo forest." My roommate replied. Hearing this, I immediately dashed out. Oliver and I used to go to that ginkgo forest often when we had private chats. When I left, the ginkgo leaves were still yellow, but now they've turned green. I rushed in and saw him on the bench where we often sat. It was night, and the streetlights shone on his face. His features were still as chiseled and deep as ever, but he kept his head down, exuding an air of coldness. My gaze shifted and landed on the man sitting beside him. The man had fair skin, a delicate and handsome face, and a sweet smile. His looks were stunning at first glance. I watched the two of them chatting and laughing, and for some reason, I felt annoyed. That guy Oliver said he liked me, but look at this. I've only been gone for a short while, and he's already found a new love interest. I wanted to rush over and confront him, but when I saw the two of them chatting and laughing, my feet froze, and a pang of bitterness welled up inside me. Maybe Oliver would be happier without me? Hello, host. Welcome back to the world of the novel. You need to complete tasks and reach 100 points to return to the real world. First task. Tell Lucas that you're Oliver's boyfriend. Mission completed. Reward. 50 points. Lucas. Isn't he the third male lead in Emma's novel? Emma's character for her was a popular celebrity who was in love with Oliver. They were childhood friends, and their relationship was really close. Lucas was good-looking and had fair skin. Both men and women couldn't resist his charm. If Oliver likes me, then he's gay. Now that there's a guy who likes him, he must be over the moon. Thinking this, I looked up and saw Oliver not far away. He stood up and looked around, looking really nervous. Did he hear the system's voice too? Before I could think much, I met Oliver's gaze. The moment he saw me, his dark, solemn eyes lit up. He quickly started walking towards me, but had only taken a couple of steps when Lucas grabbed him. "Oliver, where are you going?" Hearing this, I twitched the corners of my mouth, walked towards the two of them, and directly yanked Oliver back to my side. Lucas visibly froze for a moment. Then, his brows knitted tightly as he snapped, "Who the hell are you? Keep your hands off my Oliver." "Yours? Are you out of your mind?" I slapped Oliver hard on the back, hooked my arm around his neck and pulled him towards me, saying coldly, "This is my boyfriend. He's mine." Ding! Mission completed. 50 bonus points awarded. Oliver's eyes lit up, then dimmed. "Oliver, is this muscle-brained, ugly guy really your boyfriend?" Lucas's eyes were red at the corners, looking on the verge of tears. Seeing Emma crying like that breaks my heart. But why are his words so annoying? Being all brawn and no brains? I'll take that as a compliment on my build, but an ugly guy. Dude, I'm the heartthrob of the department, and I'm even a candidate for the campus heartthrob. Yes. Oliver glanced at me, his voice deep and magnetic. I shot him a glance and let out a cold snort. Now this is more like it. Heard that, right? I'm his boyfriend. If there's nothing else, I'm taking him with me now. Without waiting for Lucas to say anything, I grabbed Oliver and swaggered off. I didn't let go of him until we'd walked a good distance away. But after I walked a short distance, I realized Oliver wasn't following. He just stood there, dumbfounded, right where I had let go of him. "Why'd you stop?" I turned back and asked, puzzled, "Why did you come back?" He looked up at me and asked, "My buddy is still here. Why do you think I came back?" I grabbed his hand, trying to pull him back to the dorm. But the next second, he forcefully dragged me into a nearby grove, pinned me against a tree trunk by pressing my shoulders. It was pitch black all around, and I couldn't make out his expression. All I could hear was his urgent gasps. He seemed really worked up, as if his whole body was on fire. I let him touch me randomly, but I still froze for a moment when his lips met mine. He gave me a light kiss, then leaned back. Seeing that I didn't resist, he moved closer again, pinched my chin, forced my mouth open, and kissed me once more. The moist sound made my face heat up, but I still let him kiss me. But this time he seemed a lot calmer. It was just that the kiss lasted a bit too long. My tongue went a bit numb, and my legs felt a bit weak. A few minutes later, he released my mouth, leaned his head on my shoulder, and gasped for breath. His warm, humid breath hit my neck directly, making it turn red. Feeling good, huh? I asked. Okay, he replied obediently. Come on, be a good sport and come back with me. No one plays ball with me in the real world. I hugged him and tried to persuade. Hearing this, Oliver immediately let go of me and walked straight back to the dorm without looking back. I was taken aback. I even kissed him. Isn't he ready to go back yet? This kid is really asking for it. But I wasn't in the mood to lecture him today. I was so sleepy that I could barely keep my eyes open. As soon as I got back to the dorm, I climbed into bed and fell asleep. I closed my eyes and fell asleep right away. But in the middle of the night, I felt the bed shake a bit. Then a foot poked in, and soon after, the owner of that foot slipped in too. What's up? I whispered. I can't fall asleep, Oliver said pitifully. Hearing this, I shifted my body a bit to make half of the bed available for him. Seeing this, Oliver lay down, casually putting his hand on my waist and rubbing his head against me. Henry, I missed you, Oliver whispered in my ear, his voice low and husky. I answered. Hearing my response, he moved closer to me. Just a second before he kissed me, I murmured, don't push your luck. Go to sleep. Not coming back with me and still want a kiss? Dream on. After getting slapped, Oliver immediately quieted down, lay back on the bed, kissed my arm, said good night, and then closed his eyes. The next day, Oliver got off my bed quite naturally, greeted the two roommates under the bed, and I was taken aback seeing my roommates who seemed unfazed. We're just going to sleep, that's all, I quickly explained. The two roommates nodded calmly, wearing an expression that said, I totally get it. I was relieved to see they didn't suspect me. For the next week, Oliver stuck to me like glue and would even steal a kiss when I wasn't looking. Just after class, Oliver clung to me again, his eyes fixed on my lips. Seeing he was eager to act, I slapped his mouth and said coldly, can't you behave yourself for just one day, you rascal? The words were barely out of my mouth when a dark figure rushed out and shoved me aside. Luckily, I'm physically strong enough. I only stumbled a couple of steps. An ordinary person would have fallen to the ground with that kind of force. After steadying myself, I looked up at the person who had come. When I saw it was Lucas, I was taken aback for a moment. Hey, what the hell are you shoving me for? I asked, my brows slightly furrowed. You shameless lowlife. I've been watching you for a week, and as I expected, you've shown your true colors. Who gave you the right to touch Oliver with your filthy hands and even hit him? Do you believe I can get you kicked out of this school? Lucas shielded Oliver behind him and glared at me menacingly. Before I could say anything, the system spoke up first. The second mission is activated. Complete it and you'll get 20 points immediately. Please host, push him back. Hearing this, I gave Lucas a once-over. With those skinny arms and legs, could he even withstand me giving him a little shove? If I don't push, I can't get the points. Thinking this, I stepped forward and gently nudged him. I swear I didn't use any force, but Lucas just toppled right onto Oliver. Seeing this, Oliver, who was standing behind him, took a step to the side, and Lucas ended up falling flat on the ground. Lucas, who had fallen to the ground, looked completely bewildered. He turned his head to look at Oliver, but Oliver ignored him. Lucas got furious right away. He turned around, pointed at me and cursed, "You son of a bitch! How dare you push me? If I got hurt, could you afford it?" Mission completed. 20 points added. Currently, the score is 70. Okay, I'm sorry. It's my fault. I'm just a poor student. You're a big shot, so don't be so hard on me, okay? I stepped forward, pulled him up, and said with a smile. Lucas stared at me blankly, stunned into silence for a long while. Oliver's brows furrowed slightly. He quickly stepped forward, grabbed my hand, and pulled me behind him to block me from Lucas's sight. Frowning impatiently, he said, "Lucas, stop bothering me if you have nothing to do. I told you I don't like you, and I have a boyfriend already." Lucas's eyes turned red as he looked at Oliver's cold gaze. "Oliver, don't you think you're going too far?" Seeing him crying so sadly, couldn't help but say, "Oliver, aren't you being a bit too cruel?" At my words, Oliver's expression changed. His eyes red-rimmed. He stared at me pitifully and said, "Yeah, I'm cruel. All you do is take sides with outsiders." Huh? Lucas was shocked beyond words when he heard this. What the? Is this the Oliver he knew? My bad. You're not cruel. I am." Seeing how upset Oliver was, I quickly hugged him and tried to soothe him. Lucas glanced at us, his face turning beet red, and finally he ran off on his own. I thought Lucas would calm down, but who knew he'd still come and lurk around every day. This time, instead of keeping an eye on Oliver, he was staring at me like he was trying to bore a hole through me. I ignored him and kept playing basketball with the team members. After the game, I was sweating all over from the heat. I stood in the draft and lifted my shirt right up, but I didn't feel cool for long before Oliver came over and pulled my shirt down. "What? I'm almost dying of heat," I asked, puzzled. "People can see us," Oliver said, frowning. Hearing that, I couldn't help but laugh. "We're all guys. Who would stare at me for no good reason?" I scanned the court and met Lucas's gaze. I noticed he was looking right at me. The moment our eyes met, he fled in a hurry. "What's with Lucas lately? He keeps staring at me. It's creeping me out," I said, puzzled. "Look at that look in his eyes. He's definitely into you," Oliver said, a hint of jealousy in his voice. "What are you thinking? Don't assume everyone has such a unique taste like you." I smiled and gently pinched his earlobe, finding it unexpectedly soft. Looking at Oliver, with his deep-set features and clear eyes, I found my mind wandering. It might not be such a bad deal to be with him, right? "Oliver, come back with me, will you?" I brought up the matter of returning to the real world again. Seeing he was still hesitant, I tried to persuade him. "If you really don't want to go back to the Liu family, then you can move in with my family. My parents and my sister would be more than happy to have you." "Move in with you? You gonna support me for the rest of my life?" Oliver said, a faint smile tugging at the corners of his lips. "Sure, why not? I'm not incapable of making money." Seeing he was relenting, I put my hand on his shoulder and smiled. Oliver didn't say anything, but I had a feeling he was wavering. The next day, I got up really early, planning to go out and buy some pastries for Oliver. But when I came back from outside, I ran into Lucas. He was dressed to the nines and holding a bouquet of roses in his hands. Seeing him like this, I furrowed my brows slightly. This kid actually wants to confess his love to Oliver? I walked over, frowning. "Hey, cut it out, will you? Oliver said he doesn't like you." Lucas looked at me, startled for a moment. Then, his face turned red visibly. I hadn't seen him make such an expression when he met Oliver before. "Henry, I like you." He held out the flowers. My mind just blanked out. I remember Lucas's character was crazy about Oliver. I mean, really crazy. He wouldn't stop until he got what he wanted. What the hell is going on here? What the hell? He's confessing to me? "Don't you have a crush on Oliver?" I couldn't help asking. I was blind before, fooled by good looks, but I don't like that person anymore. "I like you now. Only you," Lucas said, his face flushed. Before I could say anything, Oliver rushed out and stood in front of me. "Trying to steal my crush when I'm not looking? No way." He raised his hand, and right away, two men in suits came out and dragged Lucas away. To make sure Lucas couldn't find him, Oliver even took a leave for him and brought him back to his place. Seeing how nervous he was, couldn't help but ask, "Is it really necessary? What could Lucas possibly do to me?" "I was worried he'd seduce you," Oliver said, looking anxious. I looked at the nice-looking apples on the table, picked one up and took a bite. Then I smiled and said, "Relax, I'm not into guys anyway." As soon as these words were spoken, the air seemed to freeze. I looked at Oliver and found that he was lowering his head, silent, with sadness written all over his eyes and brows. "I know you don't like me. You came back to me because of the friendship between us. I also know you've been enduring my getting close to you these days. In fact, you're already quite fed up in your heart." Before he could finish speaking, the covered his mouth. As we kissed, he put his hand on my waist. I quickly stopped him. "You still don't like my touch?" Oliver lowered his eyes slightly and said softly, "Come back with me and then you can touch me again." Right after I said that, a mission popped up on the system. The third task: kiss each other and confess your love. Hearing this, I leaned in and kissed Oliver on the lips, then stroked his face and said, "Come back with me. I really like you." Before I could finish my words, a flash of white light passed, and I was back in the real world. Henry suddenly opened his eyes and found himself lying in bed. I'm completely stunned. Is this system really that heartless? I hadn't even finished speaking yet, but I didn't have time to complain. I rushed out and asked Emma, who was munching on chips. "Emma, do you know Oliver?" Emma looked at me like I was crazy. "What are you doing? You don't recognize Big Brother Oliver after just one nap." Hearing this, I grabbed my phone, called Oliver while rushing outside. "Oliver, where are you? I'm gonna come find you right away." When I rushed to Oliver's single-family villa, I noticed a faint floral scent wafting through the house. I dashed to his bedroom in a hurry, eager to pour out my feelings for him. But to my surprise, as soon as I entered, he pinned me against the door and kissed me. "Oliver, I like you. I really mean it," I said eagerly after a kiss. Oliver, wearing a bathrobe, nodded with a smile, his earlobes a bit red. "What are you taking a shower for in the middle of the day?" I caught a whiff of the shower gel on him, turned my head and saw a lot of flower petals scattered on the bed. "I just went out for a while, so I took a shower." He held me tightly and wouldn't let go. My face turned bright red. I covered my face and said, "Oliver, have you really thought this through?" "Yeah, I've been thinking about it for years," Oliver said. A few hours later, I looked completely defeated. "What? Why am I the bottom?" I stared fiercely at the man beside me and said coldly, "Henry, I love you." He smiled and kissed my lips. "I'm asking you something. I really love you." He kissed me again. He kissed me again, smiling as he said, "Do you love me?" I was kissed into submission by him. Leaning against him, I said in a hoarse voice, "I love you. I'll love Oliver for the rest of my life."